damage types in D&D do matter a little bit. In the 2014 rules, it was pretty common for monsters to have resistance to non-magical bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage, which obviously you get around with just any random magic weapon, so +1 sword and you're good to go. In the 2024 rules, that damage resistance has gone away, but they are using damage types more strategically in monster and character design. So the kind of basic damage types, bludgeoning, piercing, slashing, fire, those still exist. They work fine, but different damage types fit at basically different tiers of how reliable and effective they are. So like your weapon damage types are almost always going to work. There are a handful of creatures that have just straight damage resistance to those damage types, but it's only a handful. And then your energy damage types, fire, cold, lightning, acid, they're going to have some mix of like how prevalent the resistance is. Fire resistance is going to be the most common. And then above those, you have radiant, psychic, necrotic, and force damage, and thunder damage. So I almost forgot that one. Those are really your like gold top tier best you can get damage types, because resistances to those damage types are so infrequent. A lot of creatures at high levels and a lot of high level character abilities give you the ability to deal those damage types specifically to get around damage resistances to other damage types. There are creatures that will have resistance to like radiant and necrotic. There are a couple of creatures that have resistance to force and thunder damage, but they're very, very rare. So if you can use those damage types, your damage is going to be more reliable. But that typically comes at a cost. If you compare spells that deal radiant damage versus something like fire damage spells will typically deal more damage because that resistance is less common. So you're trading the ability to get around resistances for slightly lower damage. And that's a conscious choice that they're being much better about making in the 2024 rules.